Welcome to the Network Plus Prepcast, your dedicated audio companion for mastering every objective on the CompTIA Network Plus certification exam. This series is produced by baremetalcyber.com. Understanding how different transport protocols operate is key to understanding the broader mechanics of network communication. In particular, knowing the difference between connection-oriented and connectionless transport styles allows network professionals to select the most suitable protocol for each application. These styles determine how data is transmitted across the network, how it is confirmed or acknowledged, and how it reacts to problems such as packet loss or delays. On the Network Plus exam, this knowledge is not only foundational to OSI Layer 4, but is also tested frequently through scenario-based questions that require you to determine which protocol or transport style best fits a given situation. A connection-oriented protocol is one that requires the establishment of a session between two endpoints before any data is transmitted. This session functions as a reliable path for communication, where each side agrees on starting conditions and prepares to exchange data in a controlled manner. One of the core features of a connection-oriented protocol is that it guarantees delivery by checking for successful receipt and retransmitting any lost or corrupted data. This type of protocol is suitable for applications where accuracy and completeness are more important than speed, and where missing or out-of-order data would cause application failures or data corruption. Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, is the most well-known example of a connection-oriented transport protocol. It uses a multi-step handshake process to establish communication between the client and the server before data begins to flow. TCP includes features such as sequence numbers and acknowledgement messages, which allow each side to verify that data was received in the correct order and without loss. If any segment of the communication is missing or corrupted, TCP will automatically retransmit it. This ensures that the entire message arrives intact and allows for dependable communication in a wide variety of use cases. Connection-oriented communication includes several important features that contribute to its reliability. Flow control mechanisms help regulate how much data is sent at a time, ensuring that the receiving device does not become overwhelmed. Error recovery is built in, so lost or corrupted packets are detected and retransmitted automatically. Congestion management features allow the sending device to slow down or speed up, depending on the network's current conditions. These capabilities make connection-oriented protocols more complex, but also much more robust and dependable in environments where stability and accuracy are critical. Connectionless protocols, by contrast, send data without first establishing a formal connection. Each message or datagram is treated independently and is routed individually through the network. The sender does not check whether the message was received, or even whether the destination is reachable. This style of communication results in lower overhead and faster data transfer, but sacrifices reliability and confirmation. Connectionless transport is best suited for real-time applications where speed matters more than completeness, and where minor data loss is acceptable or can be corrected at the application layer. UDP or UDP is the most common example of a connectionless protocol. UDP does not perform handshaking, does not track packet order, and does not request retransmission. It simply sends data from one host to another. Because of this, UDP introduces much less processing overhead, making it highly efficient and extremely fast. It is commonly used in streaming media, video conferencing, online gaming, and voice-over IP. These applications benefit from the low latency provided by UDP, and they are designed to tolerate minor packet loss or jitter without a significant loss in user experience. One of the primary benefits of using a connection-oriented transport style is its guarantee of complete data delivery. Applications that require high reliability, such as web browsing, email, and file transfers, depend on the features of TCP to ensure that their data arrives exactly as it was sent. These applications cannot tolerate missing or out-of-order data. In a web browser, for instance, loading a page requires dozens of separate resource requests, each of which must be delivered correctly to render the page properly. TCP's reliability features ensure that the application does not have to handle those issues itself. Connectionless transport offers its own advantages. Because there is no session setup or teardown and no acknowledgement of traffic, UDP-based communication occurs with minimal latency. This makes it ideal for applications that transmit a constant flow of data, such as voice or video streams, where delaying transmission to check for accuracy would result in stuttering or interruptions. In these cases, small losses are better than long pauses, and the benefits of speed outweigh the lack of built-in reliability. UDP's simplicity also means that it uses fewer system resources and can scale more easily to support large numbers of concurrent sessions. The differences between connection-oriented and connectionless communication styles can be seen in the trade-offs they offer. Connection-oriented protocols provide reliability and order, but add overhead and delay due to session management and acknowledgement traffic. Connectionless protocols offer speed and efficiency, but do not guarantee delivery or handle error correction. Choosing between these two styles requires evaluating the needs of the application. A file transfer program should use TCP to ensure accuracy, while a multiplayer game might use UDP to ensure responsiveness, even if some data is lost along the way. Applications are typically designed with a specific transport style in mind. Web browsers rely on TCP to retrieve content from websites. This includes everything from HTML and scripts to images and fonts, all of which must arrive intact to render a usable page. Voice and video applications use UDP because they prioritize low latency and can tolerate occasional losses. Developers decide which transport protocol to use based on the application's needs and behavior. Some advanced applications may even implement their own reliability checks on top of UDP, allowing them to combine fast transmission with custom error correction tailored to their specific use case. For more cybersecurity content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Port usage is a key differentiator between connection-oriented and connectionless transport protocols. Both Transmission Control Protocol and User Datagram Protocol use port numbers to distinguish services, but they maintain separate and independent port spaces. This means that the same numerical port can be used by both TCP and UDP, yet they refer to entirely different traffic type. For example, TCP port 80 is used for standard web traffic over HTTP, while UDP port 161 is used for simple network management protocol. Network services define which protocol they expect, and misconfigured transport types will result in failed connections. Recognizing the port and protocol pairing is critical for firewall configuration, application behavior, and exam scenarios. When troubleshooting connection-oriented services, specific signs help identify where problems may occur. Failed handshakes, session timeouts, or frequent retransmissions can signal that TCP communication is being interrupted. Tools like Wireshark can capture packets and reveal whether the three-way handshake is completing or if one side is not responding. Congestion indicators such as window size reduction or multiple duplicate acknowledgements can point to performance bottlenecks. In contrast, connectionless services like UDP offer fewer built-in indicators. Because there is no session state, troubleshooting requires monitoring, timing, packet loss rates, and overall service responsiveness. Tools designed for streaming diagnostics such as jitter analysis or real-time transport protocol monitors are essential in these cases. Examples of connection-oriented protocols include HTTP for web browsing, FTP for file transfers, and SMTP for sending email. These protocols require the full reliability and session management that TCP provides. Any corruption or loss in these types of communications would result in incomplete files, failed logins, or unreadable content. Therefore, the transport layer ensures that each piece of data arrives intact and in order. These examples are frequently referenced on the exam when discussing services that rely on TCP for consistent, accurate delivery. In contrast, common examples of connectionless protocols include domain name system, voice over IP, and streaming video platforms. These applications are built to tolerate packet loss and prioritize speed. A DNS query needs only a single response, and retrying is simpler than building a session. Voice and video applications are optimized for continuous delivery rather than perfection. But even if the applets are still delayed, that the content must flow in near real time, and retransmitting lost packets would cause more harm than skipping them. These examples help emphasize why UDP is selected for certain types of traffic and support questions related to transport protocol selection. Firewalls and access control systems treat these two transport styles differently. TCP traffic can be monitored through stateful inspection, where each session is tracked from start to finish. This allows firewalls to make decisions based on session behavior, such as terminating a connection after inactivity or blocking sessions that appear malicious. UDP traffic lacking session initiation or closure is harder to inspect this way. Firewalls must decide whether to allow or block UDP traffic based only on port numbers and limited header information. This limitation makes UDP both harder to secure and more prone to misuse if not closely monitored. The packet structure of each transport protocol reveals its operational differences. TCP headers contain fields for sequence numbers, acknowledgement numbers, flags such as SYN or ACAC, and window sizes. These fields support the reliability and flow control mechanisms that define TCP behavior. UDP headers are much simpler, containing only source port, destination port, length, and checksum. This minimal structure reduces overhead and speeds up processing, but comes at the cost of built-in error handling and delivery guarantees. Exam questions often describe header fields to help you identify whether the traffic is connection-oriented or connectionless. Applications that operate at higher layers may compensate for the limitations of their chosen transport protocol. Some UDP-based applications implement their own retransmission logic, timers, and error correction to provide greater reliability. Others simply ignore small losses and focus on maintaining a steady data stream. Connection-oriented applications tend to rely on the transport layer to manage all reliability concerns, freeing the application to focus on user experience and functionality. Understanding this interplay between application behavior and transport protocol is key for interpreting how software handles data transmission. On the Network Plus exam, you will likely be asked to determine when connection-oriented or connectionless transport is appropriate. Questions may ask you to match protocols to TCP or UDP, analyze a failed connection setup, or explain why voice traffic uses UDP instead of TCP. Diagrams may illustrate how ports are used, how headers differ, or how session state is maintained. Mastering the behavior, benefits, and trade-offs of both transport styles will help you confidently answer these questions and apply this knowledge in real networking environments. To conclude, connection-oriented transport provides reliable, stateful communication where data delivery must be verified and corrected if necessary. Connectionless transport offers fast, efficient delivery for applications that can tolerate loss and prioritize speed. Both styles are essential to the transport layer and serve different types of services and application needs. Understanding their behaviors, use cases, and implications is vital for effective troubleshooting, protocol selection, and success on the certification exam. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Network Plus Prepcast, your trusted audio guide to the CompTIA Network Plus certification. This episode was produced by baremetalcyber.com. For more cybersecurity podcasts, books, and resources, visit baremetalcyber.com. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cybersecurity Plus podcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com. And before you take the test, make sure to check out the practice questions in the book Achieve CompTIA Security Plus SY0-701 Exam Success by Dr. Jason Edwards. They cover every domain and are a powerful way to lock in your knowledge.